Alright, so today I'm going to talk about what 333 means, and specifically what that means for you as a twin flame. So, first, the general meaning of 3 is creativity. It can be a sign telling you to get out there and make something, work with your creative passions. It can also mean the angels or your guides, ancestors, the universe are with you. It can also stand for trust, positivity, encouragement, good luck, and most importantly, it's typically communication. Something's trying to communicate with you, and you need to pay attention to what you're thinking about or doing in that moment. In my experience, almost always when I see 333, it shows up in a time of confusion, doubt, uncertainty, or if I'm wondering if I should do or say something, or go for something, or not go for it, can't decide, make a decision. Typically it happens when you're doubting your twin flame journey, and you're doubting if they really were your twin flame at all, and maybe you're fearful, and you're wondering, is any of this real? Am I just crazy? Is all of this just woo-woo nonsense? And it can also come up when you're thinking of something that you're unsure of and you want a yes or no answer, and maybe you're just sitting there rolling your eyes, and you can even be kind of in a contemptful mood, like, you know what, this person, there's no way they're my twin flame. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna forget all about this. It's not real. Whatever. Moving on. And so what 333 is trying to tell you is it's the universe or your angels and guides are there trying to give you some encouragement. They're trying to support you and tell you to trust and have faith. They're giving you a thumbs up to go for what you're doubting. It's basically telling you just to have no doubt, no fear. Don't doubt the journey. Don't fear whatever you're confused about. They're giving you the green light to go for whatever you're afraid of doing or whatever you're doubting in that moment when you're seeing 333. And they're basically telling you to be strong, trust in yourself, believe in yourself, have encouragement, trust that everything will work out how it's supposed to. Don't lose faith and don't doubt the twin flame journey and your spiritual ascension. And they want you to reflect on it and think of, the times that you knew it was real, the times that you felt deep in your heart and soul that it was real and this was meant for you. Because typically when I've had these experiences, these short-lived moments of doubts, I can always reflect back and go, well, wait, I didn't have this spiritual ascension or all these synchronicities with any other random ex or someone I dated and broke up with. I didn't go through all this. I didn't have these moments of clarity and knowing this was meant for me, or these weird feelings in my body, in my chakras, and all these tingling sensations. Because I can guarantee that most people will not have even known what a twin flame was or ever thought they were one until after they meet their twin flame. I didn't even know what twin flames were until 2 years after we met, because I didn't even give him a chance when we met. And so 2 years later, I was way off course, and that's when I started seeing angel numbers like 333 and twin flame content explaining what twin flames were that resonated, trying to get me to go back on course and discover the journey and who I was. We met when I was still married to a karmic and narcissistic person, and even though at the time I knew deep down that I needed to get out of that marriage, I still wasn't going to go out and cheat. And so my twin flame, this guy I barely even knew, I just, was falling way too hard for him, and at the time I thought it was all illogical, didn't make any sense. I was still trying to deal with my marriage, so I just took off, cut contact, whatever. But for 2 years, I could not stop thinking about him. I could not stop getting dreams and signs and all this, whatever, push to like go find him. And finally I had an epiphany one day where I was just contemplating. I was really in a stuck, I don't know what to do with my life, and I finally had this epiphany, like, get out of my marriage, go find this guy, tell him that you love him, no matter how crazy it seemed, because we never even admitted our feelings for each other, when we first met or anything. We only talked for like a few weeks before I cut contact. And even though I didn't even have his phone number or anything, it was incredibly easy right away to find his social media, because the universe will make it easy to get with your twin flame, or to find them at least. And, I just sent him a message. We didn't follow each other, nothing. This was, again, 2 years, absolutely no contact, no seeing each other anywhere around in town, not even seeing each other on social media, nothing. And, at first I tried to play it cool, like, oh, hey, do you remember me? Because even though when we first met, we had that soul recognition, that electrical shock through your body, like it was love at first sight. And if you're a twin flame, you'll know what I'm talking about when you first made eye contact. But, at the time, I didn't know what any of that was, or what was going on, or why I felt the way I did. So, from a logical standpoint, I didn't want to look crazy by just coming out strong and going, hey, I think I love you, because I haven't been able to stop dreaming and thinking about you for 2 years, because I didn't know if he even remembered me. And he responded right away, like within 2 minutes. And, as we got to speaking, we progressed everything really fast right away. He even admitted that during that whole 2 years, he was thinking about me and dreaming about me the entire time too, in the exact same ways. Like, he just could not get me off his mind. He didn't even know why, but he hoped I would come back someday. And he had no way of contacting me either, because we were messaging on social media, and I completely blocked him and even deleted that entire account. Because even though my marriage was already falling apart, I was still trying to remain faithful to my ex-husband at the time, who also tricked me, like most karmics do, to keep you around, to keep testing you, keep you in the loop, with false promises that he would change, that we could work things out, we could do counseling, blah, blah, blah. None of that ever happened, of course, So it took me 2 more years to finally learn my lesson and leave that guy. And so, as I was saying about my twin flame, he tried to replace me with other people, and he couldn't. He couldn't establish anything more meaningful than a fling or something like a month or 2, because when you're on this journey, you are not going to be able to get very far going off the path. So unless you incarnated into this life with other soul contracts to date other karmic people or soulmates to learn more lessons, you cannot just go out and meet someone and replace your twin flame. Like, it's not going to work out. And I even tried myself during our physical separation later down the line. I just could not find anyone interesting on a dating app. And I even had a short fling with a guy myself who was a soulmate, but I'll get into that in a later video with 777. But even that didn't work out for me, because I realized even that was just a lesson to bring me back to my true twin flame. You'll be going, you'll have these crazy experiences where you just know something about this person. They are the one for you. You have these shared, like, telepathic experiences, these shared feelings in your body, and you'll know because you feel these solar plexus and the heart chakra pulls, the strong, like someone is pulling on your stomach or your heart, and it's painful, and you don't even know why, because it's like not typical heartbreak. It can just come up at random. You know, there's so many twin flames going through their awakenings during this time period on Earth that it's kind of become a buzzword, a buzz topic, and there's so many people that think they're on a twin flame journey because they're seeing all this stuff, how it's some fantasy fairy tale love, and we know that's not necessarily true. It's a lot harder and more complicated than it seems. But then we also got a lot of people who are not twin flames and they just see all this, buzz around it and think, oh, twin flames are nonsense. They're just narcissist or toxic pairings where someone's an abuser and a victim and blah, blah, blah. Or it's just limerence, it's just a scam where people, new age woo-woo coaches are trying to get money off of people. And just don't listen to what you've seen on the internet or what anyone has told you. If someone is not a twin flame, they're never going to understand it, and they're most likely just not going to believe in it. But dig deep into your heart and soul. If you are truly on the twin flame journey, you will know, you will have seen the synchronicities, things that are way too crazy to explain, like seeing their name everywhere, seeing people that look like them, having the mirrored lives, the mirrored experiences. Like, both my twin flames dad and my dad have the same name, the same birthday, and practically the same personality. Like, I could go on and on and on about the crazy similarities and coincidences that you will know if you have a twin flame. Trust your intuition, trust your heart. Regardless of what anyone else online or your family or friends who don't understand what's going on is trying to tell you. Because 333, trust your heart, your intuition. Go with what resonates with you. Don't let people instill fear or doubt or confusion. Ignore the tarot readers and all of that. And yes, I read tarot myself, and I like to use tarot for analogies to explain things. But I will agree that you should not use tarot readings for your twin flame because it's not going to resonate, and I'm not going to get into all that now in this video because it's going to be another topic for another day. And lastly, the second meaning of 333 and why you could be seeing it is to remind you to connect with your feminine side and your inner child. Connect with your creativity, your passions. Even if you're not artistic, whatever passions you loved as a child, or you still do deep down, but maybe you've thrown on the back burner, forgotten about because you got busy with life, busy with a career and society's expectations of you. Or maybe you thought, I'm too grown for this now, I need to put these silly things behind me. Don't think of it like that. Connect with your inner child. This journey will require a lot of inner child healing, where we need to unwind all the conditioning we got growing up, being told to mature, grow out of things, and, make life about career and getting married and having kids and the life and aspirations that our parents and society expected of us that maybe we didn't even want to do or had actually no interest in. Connect with your inner child. What really do you want to be doing? Who were you really before all of this conditioning? Don't lose your whimsy. That is the key to happiness. So get back into what makes you happy and take some rest and relaxation time. Come into that feminine energy of softness and receiving. Maybe get a massage, go sit outside and chill, go on a hike, go take an adventure, go explore. Something that brings you joy just for you. Focus on doing something for you and yourself and your happiness. Get creative, use your imagination. If any of this was helpful or resonated with you, and don't be afraid to leave any comments with any questions or even your own personal experiences with these numbers that might be helpful for other viewers to read. So, sending love to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day or night.